Remember back in March 2026 when that sci-fi thriller War Machine with Alan Richardson just blew up on Netflix? Well, today we're going to dig into why that movie about a giant alien robot felt, well, so unsettlingly familiar. See, while the whole alien part is pure Hollywood fantasy, the technology behind it, that's another story entirely. The future of warfare isn't coming. It's already being built in labs right now. And honestly, some of it might even be crazier than what we saw on screen. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the killer robot from the movie, then pivot to the very real ground bots that are hitting the battlefield today. After that, we're looking up at AI drone swarms, then back down at how we're engineering the super soldier. And of course, we'll get into the new arms race this is all creating before we ask the biggest question of all: who's actually in control here? So first up, let's talk about Hollywood's killer robot. The movie's premise is pretty simple, right? A team of elite Army Rangers are on a training mission when, surprise, a hostile alien war machine shows up. The action was so intense, it had this awesome Halo and Call of Duty vibe that gamers just instantly connected with. But here's where it gets kind of freaky. The buzz wasn't just about the cool special effects. The uncomfortable truth is, the Pentagon is working on pretty similar tech. It really feels like reality is in a race to catch up with science fiction, and it's picking up speed. Which leads us perfectly into the real-world ground bots. There's this new motto in the military: bots before boots. And let me tell you, it's becoming a reality way faster than you'd think. This whole revolution in autonomous warfare isn't just in the sky anymore. It is officially on the ground. So what even is a UGV, an unmanned ground vehicle? Think of it like a robotic soldier, built specifically for the worst jobs you can imagine on a battlefield. It's designed to be the first one into a kill zone, to take that first bullet so a person doesn't have to. A really good example is this German UGV called the Mandrill, which was just shown off at a big US Army competition. And if you think this is some niche side project, think again. The amount of money pouring into this is just staggering. The global market for this stuff is expected to shoot up from around $70 billion in 2026 to almost $200 billion by 2034. This isn't just a passing trend. It's a total transformation of warfare. Okay, so that's the ground game. Now, let's look up. Recent conflicts, especially over in West Asia, have completely rewritten the playbook for modern war. Drones are no longer just for spying. They've become the main event, the central weapon on the battlefield. And this technology is moving at a breakneck pace. For instance, China recently tested its Atlas drone swarm. Get this, 96 drones, all working together, all autonomous, and they can launch the whole swarm in just 3 seconds. I mean, just try to imagine defending against that. So how does something like that even work? It's called the AI kill chain. First, you launch the swarm. Then, the drones start talking to each other, using AI to coordinate everything without a human pulling the strings. They decide together what the targets are, and then they attack. They can completely overwhelm defenses just by their sheer numbers and coordinated intelligence. It's wild. All right, so we've seen machines that can fight for us, but what about machines that fight with us? This takes us to the next frontier, engineering the super soldier. And the goal here isn't to replace humans, but to seriously upgrade their abilities. Over in Ukraine, artillery crews are already using combat exoskeletons. Now, we're not talking full-on Iron Man suits, at least not yet. These are more like powerful braces for your legs that can cut down physical strain by up to 30%. That means a soldier can run at 20 kilometers an hour while carrying a ton of heavy gear. And that's really just the start. The Pentagon's own roadmap for this stuff gets deep into sci-fi territory. They're predicting that by 2050, we could see things like ocular implants for enhanced vision, or even brain-computer interfaces that would let a soldier control an entire drone swarm, just by thinking about it. So what happens when you put all this innovation together? Well, you get a brand new arms race. It's the classic military dilemma, right? The unstoppable weapon versus the unbeatable shield. A huge piece of this puzzle is just simple economics. For years, the math was totally upside down. You'd have to use a multi-million-dollar missile just to take down a $20,000 drone. But that's all changing, and the game changer is lasers. Lockheed Martin just delivered a 300-kilowatt laser to the Pentagon, where each shot costs, wait for it, $3.50. So this is really the core conflict of our era. On one side, you've got the unstoppable spear, hypersonic missiles like the Dark Eagle that fly faster than 5 times the speed of sound, making them almost impossible to stop. And on the other side, you've got the unbeatable shield, directed energy weapons like lasers that offer a cheap, fast, and effective way to stop mass attacks. So where is all this heading? It brings us to the biggest, most complicated question of all. Who controls the machine? Because it's really not a question of if anymore. The real question is how. You know, the war machines in that Netflix movie were invaders from another world, but the ones we've been talking about today, they aren't. They're our own creations, coming out of our own labs at this very moment. The age of autonomous warfare is here. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. As we keep building these smarter and smarter machines, are we actually saving lives by taking soldiers out of the line of fire? Or are we just kicking off a brand new arms race that's more dangerous than anything we've ever seen before?